In this lesson, we'll learn to use two tools that will help us to improve our line art quickly and efficiently. The first one is the Auto Select tool that you can find here. Okay, this magic wand icon is the Auto Select tool. This tool has a lot of parameters, as you can see here, but for now I suggest that you just copy the ones I'm using and we'll see later what they do. This tool will become more relevant when we color the character, but it's also relevant now for the liner. But as I say, once you learn what this tool does, probably all these parameters will make more sense. So for now, just let's leave them as they are, as I have them here, and let's see what this tool does. Basically, this tool allows us to automatically select one region in the canvas that it's limited by pixels or by vector lines. For example, if I click in the region here within the lines of the eyebrow, I click anywhere there, the software automatically selects all this area. Okay, if I click here in the pupil, the same happens. Okay, if I click in the middle of the face, it selects all this region, but it excludes, for example, the eyebrows. Okay, when I say it excludes the eyebrow, I mean that I can draw here in the area that I selected, but if I try to go beyond the eyebrow, can you see what happens? I cannot draw. Okay, I'm not lifting my pen, I just keep it pressed all the way down here, but I cannot paint this area. The same happens if I want to paint the hair. Nothing happens. I cannot draw there, but I can draw here. If I go beyond the line, it's locked. It's blocked. I cannot draw there. So why is this interesting now? It's a tool that I use to draw texture lines or thin lines that I like to draw on my characters. For example, to add a little bit more of interest to the eyebrow, I select the eyebrow and I choose the same pen or maybe smaller, and then I draw some thin lines like that. Quite random, honestly. I don't like the second one, but the first one is good. Okay, then I try to add a few more here. Just something subtle, nothing too strong. What do you think? Let's do something. I will create these lines in a different layer so we can compare the result before and after. But basically what this does is it allows me to go faster, because if I don't have this tool, let's imagine I want to draw here the lines, the inner lines for the ear. If I don't have this tool, if I don't use it, then I have to do something like this. Have to carefully paint this area, and then maybe another line, something like this, and something like that. Okay, but then I have to use my eraser, my vector eraser tool, to go around and clear the intersections. Of course, it's not the end of the world, it's quite quick, but if you use the selection tool, let me undo this. If you use the selection tool and you select the area, you can just go around and do very bold and quick lines, like I like to do, I told you before, like this, and you don't have to be afraid because you won't go beyond the lines, so there's no way for you to mess it up. Can you see? So that's why I like using this technique. Something that I didn't mention is that once you've finished working in this area, once you've finished drawing these lines, you need to exit the selection to go back to the canvas. To do that, you can use this button here, this icon, deselect, or you can use a shortcut. In my case, I use Control D. So when I use Control D, I go back to the canvas. Okay, let's add a few more lines here and there. Now I'm adding these, let's say, style lines that are not mandatory, not necessary, and maybe you don't like them, I don't know, but this technique will be very useful when you want to draw things like bandages or strings or some stripes, any element or line within another region of the character. You see that it's very, very useful. It will help you a lot. Okay, oops. Let's delete this intersection. I think it's looking nice. Let's add some wrinkles here. You see, it's also very useful here because I want the wrinkles to be on the forehead, but I don't want them to go beyond these lines because I don't want them on the hair. So I select this area and then I go across that region, and as you can see, there's no problem because the hair is not affected by these lines. So I think this is very convenient. Just trying to find a way to make some more lines. I think this is enough. Let's add a few more lines here. Yeah, I like that one. As you can see, this is very random. I cannot tell you exactly where to place these lines if you want to do it, but just keep it simple, don't go too far. I think this is good. And let's add one more here. No, something more like that. I guess that's something that I like to do, that I try to do at least, is to follow the volumes. Sometimes these lines can help to read the volumes, to make the image feel more three-dimensional. I think we'll see more about that when we draw the whole body of a character, and we draw the muscles, and we try to create some sense of volume, some sense of three-dimensionality. But yeah, drawing these lines can help in that regard. Okay, so now let's compare the character with and without these lines. With the lines, without the lines. With the lines, without the lines. So I guess it's a matter of style or preference. Sometimes it's better like this. If you want to go for something simple, this makes it look more elaborate, I guess. But it's up to you. Anyway, knowing this tool, knowing how to use this tool is very useful, so I highly recommend it.